Good morning các bác. We are doing very much the same thing every month now. We do the routine, which is the 6-7 mantra, the 6 mantras of the Dharma, and then we add on the Om Shri Dindo, the integral lotus, so that it's 7 of them. Tomorrow night we have one more practice, so we add on, and we invite you to come to join us tomorrow night. It's Varja. However, let's talk about what we want to do today. We will focus on cultivating and teaching the Dharma of the lotus. The lotus basically is coming from the mud. It's a very different kind of flowers because it doesn't grow on the land. It's aqua plant. It's grown in the water, in the mud. And you think about the force that make it coming out of the mud into the water, and the force is so strong to keep it grow up into the air. Thinking about that image, that is what we call in now modern day, especially Dr. Herbert Benson, he say it's called the principle of breaking out, or breakout principle. The breakout principle is that a lot of time in your life, you feel your life have a cover, you feel you're stagnant, you feel you cannot move beyond your mental habits. The old mental habit is just like a rut, it's something that cover you and you cannot break out. You get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you take a shower, you go to work, you come back, you have lunch, and you keep working, and then the evening you have dinner, and then go to sleep. Maybe watch TV, Netflix, so on. But a life that is, you feel that you get stuck in the wheel. In Buddhism, we call the wheel of samsara, the wheel of habitual pattern. You cannot get out, you don't feel your freedom, you don't feel how wonderful you are, and you feel you're just like being in the rat race. You cannot move your consciousness beyond certain point. And so breakout principle is the principle how do you realize that cover and how you get out of the cover. Now think a minute about everything we do in life. We always want to be a little more adventurous, always feel we want to be exciting or excited, and we want to do something meaningful in our life, and yet our lives seem to, after a while, seem to fall into a pattern, and we sink into that pattern and we don't see anything new. Now many of us have a way to keep moving the S-curve. The S-curve is you're going up like this instead of plateau and fall. So you're going up, plateau, and you fall. A lot of us go like this, and then we're going up, and then we're going up, and keep doing that. That evolutionary process is very much the Buddhist thinking about life. We have to keep constantly improve ourselves and constantly changing ourselves. So not only we adapt to environment, and yet we move beyond and we become the leading edge of that evolutionary process. So the way that we're doing now is the way that we nurture the force that breaking out. We nurture the force of breaking out, or we nurture the breakout force. And to nurture it is to move away from the old mental pattern. The old mental pattern is this: we do everything every day the same, every day the same. But now what happens is you take away your consciousness for the daily thing that you are so sinking in. You do meditation, you visualize the flowers, the lotus. Something is completely different from what you do every day, what is the daily pattern, and you create a consciousness so strong. And that consciousness, when you looking back into the daily pattern, you see things with different meanings. In other words, the breakout principle is you create a new focus. And that new focus is not about outside, it's within you and in a very high level of consciousness. So that's what we are doing. We focus on the lotus, and the image of the lotus itself is reflecting how we pop out of the mud and into the water and rise to the air. That image is perfect to describe the breakout principle. Now, the visualization here is not new. It has been there for thousands of years, perhaps as old as the Buddha time, even though not much has mentioned in the Theravada sutras, but in the Mahayana, in the practice of the lotus, we've seen the lotus everywhere. The image of the lotus almost pervasive and ubiquitous everywhere. So what we want to do is we want to practice like the lotus. It's not an accident that the lotus became a symbol of Buddhism. The lotus actually was consciously placed by the patriarch, by the cultivators of the past, to tell us that this is how we want to be. We want to be completely renewing ourselves constantly renewing ourselves. Like the lotus, we rise and we need to break out of the old pattern and keep doing that until we completely be free. So the lotus only have the three layers: the mud, the water, the air. The mud is the subconscious, the air is the conscious, the water is the conscious, and the air is a superconscious. Only three, but you can apply into your life. In everything you do, when you set yourself into a pattern, when you set yourself into the old habit, you slowly you realize that you need to be free from it. And the very easiest thing to understand the old mental habit is this: when you drive, if you're familiar with your road, a lot of time we call it hypnosis, freeway hypnosis. You just drive and you're thinking about something else, and the muscle memories just lead you to drive, and you don't even have any awareness of what's going on because you're thinking something else. So our lives slowly become hypnotic in a way, and we fall into a state where we have no control over. We are not enlightened, we're not bright. We sink into a state that we just follow to keep the pattern, keep the routine. That's why I enjoy the practice of the lotus. I enjoy the practice it not only because it's helped me to break out, but it also helped me to see things deeply. If you look at the image of the lotus, you can understand deeper and deeper how we, a human being, that we need to constantly open ourselves, constantly open. And you see my hands from open like this, bigger, open like this, and open like this. And that is the path of our consciousness. We constantly open, constantly transcend, and keep open up to infinity. Once you understand that tension, that growth, suddenly you realize that how the practices of the lotus are so wonderful. Now let us practice it, and I will speak Vietnamese at the end instead of let you wait. But again, how do we create that breakout force? To do that, you need to visualize if you hold the lotus, you need also to visualize the syllable or the symbol. You need to visualize the symbol. You need to close your eyes, visualize the symbol. You need to say the mantra, and your mind should be totally focused, and your body should be still enough. So we do verbal, and then after verbal, we do mental. But the point is, how do we focus ourselves into the practice so you can break out from the old mental landscape? That is not a challenge, but yet it is a challenge for all of us, because something new, something we need to really work on it. It's not something that in 5 minutes you can really break out from the old pattern. the force of our habits are very, very strong, and they keep us in this zone that we call prejudice. So when we break out, we get into the new zone. That zone gives us a high, give us a new perspective, give us a feeling of being free. So let's try to do that. So let's get it. Thank you for listening to our teaching in English and Vietnamese, and I see you tomorrow. If you are coming back tomorrow night, we will train you on this practice for 3 weeks continuously, and we add on one more mantra, and that is the Vajra. The Vajra is the mantra to transform our current habitual energy. So you put them together, so 8 mantras together that we practice every night for 3 weeks. So please join us from 7 o'clock to 8:30. We send you the link tomorrow. Thank you and have a happy Sunday. The lotus.